Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Unleashing Potential. I'm your host, Omar, and today we're diving into the world of key metrics for measuring employee performance. Joining me is my co host, and we're going to explore how to measure success, drive productivity, and foster a thriving workplace culture. So, Sarah, what are your thoughts on the importance of performance metrics in a business setting? Hi. I'm so excited to be here. Performance metrics are absolutely crucial. They help managers and employees understand where they stand, identify areas for improvement, and celebrate successes. But what are some of the key metrics that businesses commonly use? Great question. Let's start with quantitative metrics. One of the most basic and essential quantitative metrics is attendance and punctuality. Regular attendance and being on time are fundamental indicators of an employee's reliability and commitment. For example, a company might track the number of absences or late arrivals over a specific period. This data can help identify patterns and address potential issues early on. That makes a lot of sense. So, how do you balance the importance of attendance with understanding that everyone has occasional personal issues or health concerns? I mean, it's not always black and white, right? Absolutely, balance is key. Companies often use a combination of attendance records and open communication to ensure that personal issues are addressed fairly. For instance, a manager might have regular check ins with employees to discuss any challenges they're facing. This approach helps build trust and ensures that attendance metrics are used constructively rather than punitively. That's a great point. Moving on to qualitative metrics. What about the quality of work and customer feedback? How do businesses measure these aspects effectively? Quality of work and customer feedback are incredibly important. For quality of work, companies might use peer reviews, supervisor evaluations, and self assessments. These methods provide a well rounded view of an employee's performance. As for customer feedback, it can be gathered through surveys, online reviews, and direct communication. For example, a retail company might use customer satisfaction scores to gauge the performance of its sales team. That's really interesting. How do you ensure that customer feedback is collected consistently and is actually useful for making improvements? Consistency and usefulness are crucial. Companies often use standardized survey tools and set clear guidelines for collecting feedback. For instance, a restaurant might use a post dining survey that asks specific questions about the food, service, and overall experience. This structured approach helps ensure that the feedback is actionable and can be used to make targeted improvements. That's really helpful. Let's talk about financial metrics. How do businesses use metrics like revenue and cost efficiency to measure employee performance? Financial metrics are vital for understanding the bottom line impact of employee performance. Revenue generated by an individual or team can be a direct indicator of their sales and business development skills. Cost efficiency, on the other hand, looks at how effectively an employee manages resources. For example, a marketing manager might be evaluated based on the ROI of their campaigns or the cost per lead generated. That's a great point. But how do you ensure that financial metrics don't lead to short term thinking at the expense of long term growth? I mean, sometimes cutting costs can hurt the company in the long run, right? Absolutely. And that's why it's important to balance short term and long term metrics. Companies often use a combination of financial and non financial metrics to get a holistic view. For example, while cost efficiency is important, it should be balanced with metrics like employee engagement and customer loyalty. This ensures that the focus on cost doesn't come at the expense of long term success. That's really insightful. Let's move on to behavioral metrics. How do companies measure team collaboration and communication? Behavioral metrics are all about the soft skills that drive a positive workplace culture. Team collaboration can be measured through team projects, cross departmental initiatives, and peer feedback. Communication is often assessed through regular meetings, transparent communication channels, and employee surveys. For example, a tech company might use a project management tool to track how effectively team members collaborate and communicate on tasks. That's really interesting. What about goal achievement and KPIs? How do these metrics help in measuring performance? Goal achievement and KPIs, key performance indicators, are critical for aligning employee efforts with organizational objectives. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, SMART. KPIs provide a clear, quantifiable way to track progress. For example, a sales team might have a KPI for the number of new clients acquired each quarter. This helps ensure that everyone is working towards the same goals and that progress is visible and measurable. That's really helpful. How do you ensure that goals and KPIs are fair and motivating for all employees, especially those in different roles or departments? It's important to tailor goals and KPIs to the specific role and responsibilities of each employee. For instance, a customer service representative might have a KPI for the number of calls resolved within a certain time frame, while a product manager might have a KPI for the number of new features launched. Regular check-ins and feedback sessions can help ensure that goals remain relevant and motivating. That's really insightful. Let's talk about employee engagement and satisfaction. How do businesses measure these aspects, and why are they important? Employee engagement and satisfaction are crucial for a thriving workplace. Engagement can be measured through surveys that ask about job satisfaction, work-life balance, and opportunities for growth. Satisfaction is often gauged through metrics like employee retention rates and voluntary turnover. For example, a company might use an annual employee engagement survey to identify areas for improvement and implement changes based on the feedback. That's really interesting. How do you ensure that the feedback from these surveys is acted upon and not just collected and forgotten? Acting on feedback is crucial. Companies often set specific action plans based on survey results and communicate those plans to employees. For instance, if a survey reveals that employees feel overworked, the company might introduce flexible working hours or additional breaks. Regular follow-up surveys can also help track progress and ensure that changes are making a difference. That's really helpful. Let's talk about technological tools for performance tracking. What are some of the tools that businesses use, and how do they benefit from them? There are a variety of technological tools that can help businesses track and improve employee performance. Project management tools like Asana and Trello are great for tracking tasks and deadlines. Performance management software like Bamboo HR or Workday can help with goal setting, feedback, and performance reviews. These tools provide real-time data and insights that can help managers make informed decisions and provide timely feedback. That's really interesting. How do you ensure that these tools don't become a burden for employees and actually help them improve their performance? It's important to choose tools that are user-friendly and integrate seamlessly into the workflow. Training and support are also crucial. For example, a company might offer workshops or webinars to help employees get the most out of the tools. Additionally, regular feedback from employees can help identify any issues and make necessary adjustments. That's really insightful. Let's talk about case studies. Can you share any examples of companies that have successfully implemented performance metrics and seen positive results? Sure. One great example is Google. They use a comprehensive performance management system that includes regular check-ins, 360-degree feedback, and a focus on goal achievement. This approach has helped them maintain high levels of employee engagement and productivity. Another example is Zappos, which uses a holacracy system that emphasizes self-management and transparency. These practices have contributed to a strong company culture and high customer satisfaction. That's really inspiring. What are some future trends in performance metrics that businesses should be aware of? One major trend is the use of AI and machine learning to analyze performance data more effectively. These technologies can help identify patterns and provide deeper insights into employee performance. Another trend is the focus on well-being and mental health. Companies are increasingly recognizing the importance of supporting employees' overall well-being as part of their performance management strategy. Finally, there's a growing emphasis on continuous feedback and learning rather than just annual performance reviews. That's really exciting. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights. It's been a fantastic conversation. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or tips for our listeners? Absolutely. The key to effective performance management is to use a combination of metrics that provide a holistic view of employee performance. Regular communication, clear goals, and a focus on continuous improvement are essential. And don't forget to celebrate successes along the way. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and stay tuned for more exciting episodes of Unleashing Potential.